didn't know which stations we were on. Maybe I heard it wrong. Sounded like you didn't know if we were on in all the places.
Oh, I was just wondering if we were on in there. Yeah, that wasn't really anything I was saying. That was just sort of babbling and rambling. Yeah.
I got worried I had missed a comment from somebody that said, because I
No.
mean, like I said, I knew we were all. I knew I finally got us on to Reedsville.
No, there was no comment from anybody.
Alrighty. Well, good.
Good.
I forgot to ask Charles about that when I talked to him today, but I'll talk to him tomorrow when I'm gonna. But the thing is, I can already bet money what the answer is. I don't know. I guess it was probably John was logged in on doing something, and I'll tell him, tell John he can't do it between 7 and 8 o'clock. I'll tell him, but you know how all engineers are. So basically, it means it'll just happen again the next time he decides to do it.
Tell John not to kill anybody. Well, I'll tell him, but you know how engineers are.
Yeah, exactly. You know how engineers are. Those damn engineers.
Tell John not to burn down any public. Good evening. Welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Eccles, and we're glad to have you with us on the program tonight. We've got a phone number you can call if you'd like to give us a call at the number on your screen. And there's proof. Well, there is no proof. There's evidence that the phone will work normally tonight when you call. You can also email us. The email address is keneckleslive@gmail.com. So you can call or email, whichever way pleases you. Lost my phone. Emailer here says, well, Ken, I won a lot of money last night. It doesn't say how much. A lot, that can mean almost anything. Ken, I won a lot of money last night because somebody gave me UConn and 3 points. And based on what you said, I took UConn and 3 points, and now I have won money. Do I owe you a share? No. No, you don't owe me anything. So there. Yeah, well, I don't bet. If I was a betting man, I definitely would have taken UConn and 3 points. But anyway, we all know how that worked out. And I'm glad you won. And everybody who bet on the game last night, I hope everybody won. Although I know that's not the case, but I can hope for that. I hope each and every one of you won money last night if you bet on the game. The emailer here says, Ken, I read about this congressman from Tennessee who said that he has seen all of the UFO information that the government has. And he says that people would go nuts if they knew what he knows. Do you know anything about that? Well, hang on. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing, Ken?
I'm doing good, Early Bird. How are you?
Well, what's my standing? Where I'm at?
Well, hold on. Let me get.
I didn't get to pick because I didn't get to call in. I figure you can go back and pick me one from from last race or so.
Yeah, I went back 2 weeks like we normally do, and hang on.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Hang on a second. Let me find my stuff.
Great book. The great
Yeah,
book.
yeah. Okay, here it is. You are number
Hmm.
12. You're in 12th place. You're not too bad off. You're just actually a few
Well, that
points
wasn't.
out of first.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. I think I'd be worse than that.
No, you're not
I
bad
forget.
at all.
I forgot all about calling in.
Well, I forget stuff too. So it happens. You want to make your pick for Bristol?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick. Who'd you pick me for the last 2 weeks? Who was it?
17.
17. Who was that?
Chris Busher.
Okay. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take. Is that a short track or long track?
It's a short. Bristol's a short track, half mile.
Short track. Give me. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take. Who's that guy who won all them 2 in a row?
That was Tyler Reddick. He's won 4 races.
Give me him. Give me him.
Early Bird has the 45 for Bristol.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna try him one time. See how he does.
Well, he's been a pretty good bet so far this year.
Yeah, he sure has. Ain't he? What you say? He won 4 already.
He's won 4. He won the first 3, and then missed a couple of weeks, and then he won a 4th one. So he's won half of the races so far.
Good day. Okay, well, I'll let you go so somebody else can call in.
Okay, Early Bird, you've got the 45, and thanks for calling.
Okay. Thank you, Ken. Bye-bye.
Good night. Phone line is open right there if you'd like to give us a call at that number or email us at keneckleslive@gmail.com. Now, this thing about the UFOs, it's Representative Tim Burchett of Tennessee. He says he has been briefed, as he puts it, by every alphabet agency in Washington about UFO information and evidence. And I'm trying to find his quote here. He says he's been briefed by, and quoting him, just about every alphabet agency there is, and some of what he has been shown, this is his quote, this is what he says, would have set the earth on fire. Would have set the earth on fire, he said, if it were made public. And he added that people would demand answers if people could hear what he has heard about UFOs in the congressional briefings. He said that America would, he used the word, he said that Americans would come unglued. That's his language and not mine. He said Americans would become unglued if they saw the information about UFOs that he has seen. He says that he is now pushing in Congress for a law that would demand that the government make full disclosure, put everything it has out there in public on the record. And he says if a government official told him extraterrestrial beings have visited Earth in otherworldly craft and interacted with humans, though he has not provided documents to specifics. But that's what he says he's been told. Among the things he's been told, that ETs have been here and interacted with us. Well, not necessarily you and me, but interacted with us in the form of human beings. And so that's what he's pushing for in Congress. He says he's 100% sure that the government is covering up UFO information and that Congress has been stonewalled by the Pentagon when seeking documents and pilot testimony pointing back to incidents since the 40s. He says, and he has launched an unidentified anomalous phenomena caucus in the House of Representatives They've sent letters to the intelligence community, the Inspector General, and other agencies, again, demanding that the government immediately release everything it knows about UFOs. An emailer, that is everything I know about Representative Tim Burchett and his statements on UFOs. So you can make of that what you will. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken, it's Mark from Maridan.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, that's good. Have you got anybody's pick in yet, or who are you lacking?
Oh, I'm still lacking several people. I'll tell you who I have. I have Early Bird, the 45, Ralph, the 9, you, the 11, Charles, the 45, Jack, the 20, Nice Guy, the 11, Avenger, the 20. Citizen D has the 22, although he's acting like he might want to change his mind. I don't know. But right now, Citizen D has the 22. Nature Boy has the 5, Mr. Leaksville has the 24, and Mr. Draper has the 24, and that's who I got so far.
Yeah, which ones hadn't gave a pick yet?
Oh, let's see, who has not made a pick yet?
Chat GPT?
Pretty Man has not made a pick. I don't know if anybody cares about that, but Pretty Man has not made a pick. Have not heard from Leon, have not heard from Lady in Black, or Mr. NASCAR, or the Avenger, or Captain Midnight. So those are among the ones we're waiting for.
Yeah, what about Chat GPT? You got one of them?
Chat GPT has not made his pick yet either.
Oh, okay. Okay. Anyway, I got them 3 Peter Criss CDs. It's the same album. I thought they had a different bonus track on each one of them, but it don't. But I bought all 3 of them. The white one, the white wallet, the silver wallet.
Oh, what do you think? What do you think of them?
Oh, I like it. It's kind of like old time rock and roll kind of stuff or whatever. Kind of reminds me of Jerry Lee Lewis on a piano. But I think that guy came up with his name. He was on a television show. It was on there with him.
Somebody on a television show. That doesn't narrow it down a whole lot. So I don't know who that was.
Who was the keyboardist on David Letterman? What was his name?
Oh, Paul Schaefer.
Yeah, he's on there.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Paul Schaefer's on a whole lot of records, more than people know about.
Yeah, him and quite a few other artists on Peter Criss CD, whatever.
Okay, well, I'm glad you like the CDs.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks, Ken.
Well, thanks, Mark. Good to hear from you.
Bye.
The phone line is open up there at that number. You can email us at Ken Eccles Live. Excuse me, KenEcclesLive@gmail.com. That's our email address, and we'd love to hear from you either way, by phone or by email. Did I say we haven't heard from the Avenger yet? That's not true. Avenger's on the list. Avenger has taken the 20. But I think we have a pick here from somebody that we legitimately have not heard from until right now, and that is... Well, it's nobody of any significance. It's Pretty Man. And Pretty Man says, well, he says a lot of stuff, but you don't need to hear all this. We'll just get right to the point. Pretty Man is taking the 11, Denny Hamlin, for Bristol. And if we absolutely run out of anything else, so I have nothing else, no possibility of doing anything else, then I might come back and read Pretty Man's email. But failing that, we'll just move on to this. Hi, Ken. This is Citizen D. Yes, let's have my pick with the 22. As bad as my luck has been, if I switch it, the 22 will win. Oh, I know that happens to me all the time. So Citizen D will stay with the 22. Did you see where UNCCH is paying the new coach $8.3 million a year? I think that is completely ridiculous. Paying college players millions is just as ridiculous. A little spending money is fine, but not that much. I wonder what UNC ticket prices will be now. I think we need to go back to William Friday's philosophy, and that universities should focus first on education and not on athletics. What do you think? I think I could scrape by on $8.3 million a year. In fact, I'm pretty sure I could get by on $8.3 million a year, because I'm actually making less. Believe it or not, I'm making less than that now, and I'm doing okay on what I'm making. So yeah, $8.3 million a year. That would suit me very nicely. He is. I don't know this for a fact, but it seems to me that I heard somewhere today that Michael Malone will be among the 10 highest paid coaches in the country at $8.3 million a year. It makes me wonder where he is among those two. Is he like number 3, or is he way down there at number 10, which would mean there are 9 others making more than that? I don't know. But yeah, that's healthy money. And yeah, it is, well, it is ridiculous. It honestly is. I don't begrudge anybody, the opportunity to make a buck if they have a chance. So, if somebody will pay you $6 million, $8 million, $10 million a year to coach a sport, basketball or football, if somebody will pay you that, I wouldn't blame you if you took it. If somebody would pay me that, I'd take it. But it is kind of way out of line. The justification for it, of course, is that colleges rake in money hand over fist from athletics, and it's true, they do. And the further justification that they give for it is if they didn't have these high-dollar coaches, they wouldn't make nearly as much money from athletics as they make, and that's how they justify doing it. And I guess purely in terms of economics, if we look at it on a purely transactional basis, then that makes sense. But I can't help thinking that of all the money that all the boosters give to all the universities to support their athletic endeavors, the colleges will tell you, well, they wouldn't give us this money for anything other than athletics. And maybe that's true, and it probably is true to some extent, but I can't help wondering if there were no, or not if there were no athletics, what if a college basketball team or a college football team was formed just because they put up a notice on the bulletin board and said, okay, anybody want to go out for basketball, come to the gym today. I mean, that's kind of the way they do it in high school. What if they did that and they didn't spend tens and tens of millions of dollars on their athletic programs? I have a feeling that some of those boosters actually would then go ahead and contribute money for other things, like maybe classes and education. So I don't know. It may be true that everybody, even people not involved in athletics, end up better off because of all this spending in athletics. It could be true, but I can't help wondering. Anyhow, yeah, 8.3 million is what I read, and that's is that just salary? Because what normally happens with coaches is they get an amount for salary, and then they give them a radio show, and they get paid some amount. They get maybe $700,000 or $800,000 a year for the radio show, I've done radio shows for less than that, by the way. They get another $700,000 a year for the radio show, and then they make personal appearances, and they give them personal appearance money. I mean, there's a whole, there are many revenue avenues for a coach at a major sports university. It may be that he's going to get more than that. That might be salary without counting all the additional. And how much are they paying Bill Belichick? Yeah, you can't even say that without laughing. How much are they paying Bill Belichick to coach, if coach is the right word, for what he's doing with the football team? Who knows? Goes on and on. Here's an emailer. This emailer says, well, Ken, I agree with Citizen D. It's nuts, says the emailer. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken.
Hey.
Nice guy.
Hey.
You're talking about Carolina basketball coach.
Right.
Is it true that his daughter is attending Carolina and is on the volleyball team?
Yes, that is true.
I just wondered. He might have been there watching his daughter play volleyball. Get opportunity to.
Well, I don't know. It could well have, and it certainly could have had something to do with his decision to come there. Whether it was involved in contacting them in the first place, I don't know. But she's definitely there as a volleyball player. Okay. Well, thanks. Good to hear from you. Yes, coach. The coach's daughter is a volleyball player at UNC, and it may have had some connection, maybe not. I can guarantee you one thing: she's not making. She's not getting $2 million a year like some of the football and basketball players do. I doubt that the NIL boom has found its way into the volleyball program yet. But if you think about it, I mean, maybe they probably deserve to get paid as much as the basketball and football players do. Volleyball players work hard. They practice every day. They put in a lot of work. So maybe they need to get in on some of that money as well. Emailer says, hello, Ken. I was reading about the guy from Tennessee and all his comments about UFOs, and I read where he said that we would come unglued if we knew what he knew about UFOs. So I wonder, at some point, you think he's going to disappear? You think he's just not going to come home one day and then nobody will ever see him again? Do you think he needs to be worried about that? I don't know. It would be awfully obvious, wouldn't it, if after he makes these public statements about UFOs, then all of a sudden he disappears from the face of the earth and nobody ever sees or hears from him again. That would be kind of an obvious thing to have happen. So I don't know. I don't even know what to make of that. I will make this prediction, though. And I don't make predictions. I'll make a prediction. I predict that his effort in Congress to have the government immediately release everything, all and everything it has on UFOs, I predict he's not going to succeed doing that. I wish him luck. I don't know if he's the first one to try that or not. It seems to me there was somebody else, and I can't bring up the name, seems to me there was somebody else a few years back, somebody in Congress who tried to get the government to release everything. I can't remember who that was. Maybe he disappeared. I don't know. Maybe he disappeared one day, and that's why I can't remember who it was. But I'm pretty sure somebody has tried it before and failed. And I have a feeling that Congressman Burchett will fail too. I hope that he will not get disappeared over it. And I wish him luck, because I'd love to see, I'm like you, I'd love to see all that stuff. But I'm not going to hold my breath waiting for it to come out. Phone line is open. There's a number up there. You can also email us. KenEcclesLive@gmail.com is the email address that you can use. This one says, oh, this is Eccles, this is Pretty Man. I demand that you read my email. No, I'm not going to, Pretty Man. And I have nothing else to say. I'm not reading. If you want to send me a different email than this one, then maybe I'll read that one. In fact, I just read that one, where I just read your demand, didn't I? You send me a different email, one that is more in line with the values and preferences of our society, then I might read that. But no, that other one you sent, I'm not reading that. And that's the end of that particular discussion. Ken, I have a question about the War Powers Act in Congress and about the Iran war, and about that we went to war without any approval of Congress. Is Donald Trump the first president that has ever made a commitment to a war like this and completely bypassed Congress? Has any other president ever done this? And what happened when another president tried it? No, Donald Trump is by no means the first president to go to war or go to conflict, or whichever word you want to use for it, without consulting Congress. It's happened a few times. Probably the most significant time was the Korean War, and we call it the Korean War, even though technically it wasn't. Technically, it was a police action, and not a war. Now, I know people who served in Korea, and you probably know people who served in Korea, and there's no question in their minds that they went to war. But it was legally a police action. Harry Truman I don't think he consulted Congress at all when he committed U.S. forces to fight in Korea for 3 years. So that's probably the most significant example of it, was Harry Truman in Korea. But what did Ronald Reagan do? An island out in the Atlantic, Grenada. Remember, Ronald Reagan invaded Grenada. Now, that's certainly, obviously, not on the scale of Iran or not on the scale of Korea, but it was a military action without the permission of Congress. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing tonight, Kent?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I don't think Congress declared war in Vietnam either, did they, or did they not?
They did not declare war, but they did issue an approval for the Gulf of Tonkin resolution. And of course, we now know that there was something wrong with the Gulf of Tonkin resolution. At the time, Congress didn't know what we know now. But the Gulf of Tonkin resolution gave the government permission to use military force. It was worded, how was it worded? Military force in action to a threat, military threat against the interests of the United States. I can't quote it for you, but you're right. It was not a declaration of war, but it was an authorization that it turned out to be based on bad information.
Exactly. And they did fund it too.
Yes, they did.
Yep. What's going to happen in Iran tonight about 8 o'clock? Anybody know, or is everybody just wondering what I'm feeling Trump's going to have in his bones this time, or what?
I don't know. I read this afternoon that he was considering extending the deadline. The deadline he set was 8 o'clock Eastern time, which is getting pretty close. I read this afternoon that he had consulted with Pakistan, and that the Pakistanis were asking him to extend the deadline because somebody in Pakistan thinks that apparently think they're about to make some sort of breakthrough to maybe get the Strait of Hormuz open again. So the last I heard, the president was considering, based on that, extending the deadline. But that's all I know.
Yeah, I think that's about all anybody knows, Ken. But yeah, I just don't see the logic behind it. I mean, they can bomb that place to heck and back, and that's still not going to open those straits. And that's the main thing that's causing all the problems, is because the straits are closed, right?
That is what is causing the economic difficulties, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I heard on the news here last week, it said, United States and most of the world says, well, time is money. But to the Iranians, they say time is time. They don't got a whole lot invested in it. I mean, the whole thing don't make sense to me, Ken. I mean, they're supposed to be a foe, and we turn around and release the sanctions on their oil. Now they're making more money on oil than they ever had. I mean, if you're going to fight somebody, why would you enrich them with oil and the money, the benefits? I don't understand that.
Well, there are two conflicting things here. One, obviously, is the war and trying to get the Iranians to behave differently than they have behaved before. And the other thing is the economy, and they're working against each other because some of the things you do to put pressure on Iran, these same things make a barrel of oil cost more money. And so it's hard to balance those two things, and I guess we sort of wind up doing things that look like they're contradicting one another. But it's a complicated world.
It is. And on that, you had a caller last night. I won't call any names, but he said that the reason that Trump tore up that Iranian deal that they had worked out with them before was because they wouldn't allow us inspectors to come in and inspect things.
Well,
I've searched everywhere I could look, Ken, and I haven't found that yet.
Well, you won't find that because that's not the reason that Trump did that. In fact, President Trump made a very long and complete statement on May 8th, 2018, the day he pulled the United States out of that agreement. And that's still online. Anybody can go and read exactly what he said. And he didn't say anything about inspectors being blocked. He said he was pulling out of the agreement because it was a bad agreement. He said that it allowed Iran to keep developing missiles. He said it allowed Iran to keep funding terrorism all around the world. I mean, he said a list of things he gave as reasons for pulling out, but one thing he didn't say was that he was doing it because inspectors were being blocked. That was not his reason.
Yeah, I've never heard that in my life until last night, Ken, but, it is what it is. I mean, if you watch Fox News, end up with those kind of stories behind it. So, another thing too, Ken, I'll let you go. People talk about being Christian this and Christian that. I don't care how many hours you spend in church or wherever doing religion every week, but religion comes from the heart. If you don't try to treat people like it's your neighbor and love thy neighbor instead of trying to kill their neighbors, I don't care how long you stay in church. It's not going to get you to heaven.
Well, thanks for calling.
Thank you, Ken.
Good night. The phone line is open. We had another caller there, but that caller went away. You can give us a call at that number on your screen, or you can email us at keneccleslive@gmail.com is our email address, and we'd like to hear from you either way, by phone or by email. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I listened to us last night while I recorded, and you was absolutely right. We sound like a broken record.
Yeah, we did.
I couldn't hear you. You couldn't hear me. I'd stop, thought you'd talk. You'd stop, think I'd talk back and forth.
Yeah,
and that's what happened.
It's that delay, that phone delay makes it really hard.
Did you get any of the email info I sent you about that? I sent you the whole thing from beginning to end of the
I did.
reports on the inspections. They started out where everything was fine.
I did.
And then, what was it, March 20th of 2019 or 2020?
2019.
That's when Iran stopped letting us inspect certain specific areas, like military areas, right?
That's right. That was 15 months after we pulled out of the agreement.
That was in 2019, was it?
We pulled out in 2018 in May.
Yeah, okay. And then, see, that's why we pulled out, is because they wouldn't let us inspect. And that's what it stated in several things that I sent you, and I don't understand why.
Well,
what's his name? And tell them can't find that information.
Well, let me just hold on a second. If you read the report, again, let's look at the timeline here. They started blocking inspectors in August of 2019. We pulled out of the agreement in May of 2018. We pulled out a year before they started blocking inspectors.
The IAEU, correct?
Right. And if you read the reports, they did quarterly reports.
That's everybody in the world. That's all the inspectors in the world.
If you read the reports, their reports were that Iran was in compliance with the agreement until after we pulled out. When we pulled out, then they went out of compliance. But while the agreement was in force, they were in compliance. That's what the inspectors said.
Now, we were still inspecting. When was the latest we were inspecting? When I say we, I'm talking about everybody that was appointed throughout the world to inspect.
Yeah, the inspectors who lived in Iran, right? I know that's what you're talking about. After we pulled out in 2018, they allowed the inspectors to stay for several years after that. But they gradually cooperated with them less and less and less until finally they stopped cooperating at all.
Well, see, that's exactly what I was saying, Ken. Even though we pulled out in 2018, the inspectors were still there for several years after that and still inspecting. Right. And then Iran pretty much stopped it altogether, and that's when everybody backed out of it.
Well, that's true. Everything you just said is true. But that's not why Donald Trump pulled out of it, though, because...
Well, I didn't say that's why Donald Trump pulled out. I said that's why we pulled out in reference to the IEUA.
When Donald Trump
we are the good people.
When Donald Trump pulled out, to me, that's when we pulled out. I mean, Donald Trump pulled us out of the agreement.
I wasn't referring to that. I was referring when they stopped letting us inspect. That's all I ever said. I said Donald Trump pulled us out in whenever it was. But all I ever said in the beginning was we pulled out, which we are the good guys who were inspecting, and we are the people from around the world appointed to inspect. I don't know how many Americans were there, but there were Europeans. There were other,
Right.
Every country in the world had people there inspecting that was interested in stopping them from getting a nuclear device.
That's true. And by 2025, they were not allowing anybody to inspect.
Right. So they continued on until Donald Trump said, enough. We're going to stop it if you don't stop. So they did the bunker busting bombs last year. And, excuse me. And now they're destroying the country. And yes, he said today, this after, see, y'all don't keep up with it. He said, yeah, postponing the bombing of the bridges and the power plants for 2 weeks. They made a deal. Postponing for 2 weeks as
Okay.
of this afternoon.
All right. Then that's,
Mhm.
that's official then.
And do you know that, yeah, Iran had mostly all women circled every power plant and on every bridge with the flags flying so Trump could not bomb them.
Well, I don't know how that would work out, but if the deadline's been extended, we won't find out tonight.
Right. Now, what I figured was just drop one bomb in the middle of the power plant where it wasn't going to hurt the circle around it, which is from half a mile from it or more. And that's how many people they got circling these places. But, and then do damage to it, shut the plant down. The people go home, come back and destroy it. That would be my theory, Just
Okay.
damage it to where it couldn't produce, and then when the people left, go back and destroy it.
All right. Well, maybe that's what they'll do.
Trump, on Easter morning, when Trump said the bad words and stuff like that, Trump does not want to destroy that country. He doesn't want to destroy the infrastructure, such as the bridges, and it'll take him 100 years to rebuild. And he's so mad that they can't understand that he don't want to destroy their country that he's cussing at them now. He's that frustrated and mad at them, and that's why he said what he did the way he did, because they don't understand what it is getting them into. Yeah, and
I
church,
don't know.
and church. Look,
I
that's
think you probably do
it up to
understand.
anybody else. I'm just doing what God says. I'm just doing what God says, and that's worship on Friday at dusk to Saturday at dusk.
Well,
Sunday you work.
that's a completely personal thing between you
It
and
is.
your maker. So that's up to you.
It is. It is. But if you don't, you're not following God's word. Is one of the commandments. Honor the Sabbath and keep it holy.
Well, one thing
Sabbath is on
one
Saturday.
thing I
Anyway, okay.
Okay,
Huh?
thanks for calling. One thing I don't do is tell anybody how they ought to worship. That's not my place. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good evening to you, Ken.
Good evening. Okay, thanks for calling. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken.
Hello.
About an hour and a half before the deadline, maybe 2 hours, the Taco Man lived up to his nickname. And he changed the deadline, extended for 2 more weeks. So that's official. He supposedly have received a 10-point proposal by Afghanistan concerning from Iran
Mm-hmm.
that he said was acceptable if they open up the strait.
Mm-hmm.
So now Iran has made no public response to this new thing that we heard of, extension and opening up the gates and all like that yet. So that has not been, that is only a one-way deal so far.
Okay. I read that it was, I think Pakistan is involved and Afghanistan.
Pakistan. I said Afghanistan. I meant Pakistan. Pakistan is involved, and they said Israel accepted the 10-point proposal.
Pakistan is talking to somebody. As far as I know, they have not publicly identified who they're talking to. So I don't know if they're talking to the Supreme Council or the Revolutionary Guards. There are several different groups. So I don't know who they're talking to, but whoever they're talking to, I hope they will be able to come to some agreement to stop this.
I do also, because you are looking at a situation where our country, has placed itself in a situation that they are trying to get out of, but they're trying to do it in a way where they don't look stupid for spending that much money going in there for what they have accomplished. So the regime is the same. The uranium is still the same. And so we have not accomplished for what we went there for the price that we are spending. And to be asking for 200 more billion, dollars, I feel like it could be spent elsewhere better.
Well, but you can always find something else to do with $200 billion. I don't think it's a question like that. Maybe we could avoid borrowing the $200 billion altogether. That would be worth something if we could get a settlement.
That's right. But looking at my time constraint, let me say something, because I have maybe about a minute and a half left. And just concerning the comments and stuff that was made by a caller last night, who asked as though that no one has knowledge but him, when the statement shows he has less knowledge than most. Now, for not even knowing Mexico won't pay for the wall in the outcome of the 2020 election. Now, after what the Savior had done for us, it was so insulting to hear such profanity and vulgarity on the special day that he arose. And to say these men of God who worship on Sunday are lying to the members about the Sabbath. To say the King James Version is a lie. Yet he supports the biggest liars of all presidents. Now this man said they're eating your dogs and cats. And there's unnecessary.
I don't want to talk about another caller. Now, if you're referring to what the president said, that's fine. But let's not talk about what other callers.
All right, I'm getting to the part then that said, but this man said so much better. They're eating your dogs and cats. Unnecessary lies. So those are the things, but I'm talking about claims when you dispute that the men of God are wrong because they worship on the Sabbath and the King James Bible is incorrect. I'm disputing facts.
Okay.
And I'm not disputing the accuser. I'm disputing facts. I believe in those facts. And another thing, Joe Rogan Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, and Marjorie Taylor all agree with me that this wall is unnecessary and that the president need to be replaced and examined.
Well,
And so
they
those
say
are the
that, yes.
things that I want to bring into view. And I thank you for your time, Ken. Look, do you have my driver down? Just want to make sure.
Yeah, I do. It's on here somewhere.
Okay.
Maybe you better tell
All right.
tell
Okay.
me.
I got the number 5. Okay.
Okay, Liberal has the 5. It's probably on this list
Right.
and I can't read it, but now I can read it. Liberal has the 5.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. No problem, Glenn.
Well, thank you.
And all right. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for calling. Liberal has the 5. And there we are. What time is it? It's just about done. We have just a few minutes left for your phone calls and emails. Our phone line is open. The email address is keneccleslive@gmail.com. This emailer says, Ken, when is the 3-minute rule coming back? On Monday, the 3-minute rule is coming back. Now, let me explain to you. It's not going to be a whistle or a siren the way it was last time. It's going to be me. My commitment to you when you call is that you'll have 3 minutes to say what you want to say, and 3 minutes to get your point across. And if it gets to be 3 minutes, if you're actually making an important point and it gets to be 3 minutes, then I will allow you to continue and finish making whatever point you're trying to make. So it's not going to be like at 3 minutes, you simply go silent. But I do need to, and I am going to, starting next week, take measures to limit the amount of time, and it's as much my fault. Maybe it's more my fault than it is anybody else's, but we're going to start limiting the amount of time that one person spends on the phone. So you can be confident that you'll have 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, you cannot be confident at all that you will have any amount of time after 3 minutes. So that's how it's going to be starting Monday, and that gives us all a few nights to think about it and be ready for it. So there we are. This emailer says, Ken, I understand why you've always said you don't talk about religion, because once you start talking about religion, you get a million different opinions from a million different people, and they all want to argue with each other. So I sympathize you in trying not to talk about religion, and I completely agree with what you said. How you want to worship God and how you think is the correct way to worship God is entirely up to you based on what you think is the right thing. And I believe that as you worship God, if you do it in the way that you think is right and pleasing to Him, even though it may be different from what somebody wrote down on a piece of paper or chiseled on a rock 50 centuries ago, I don't think that matters to God. What matters to God is that you love and obey Him and worship Him in the way that you see fit to do so. And that's the last thing I will say about religion on this program, and I hope you don't have to say anything else about it either. Well, thank you, emailer. I think you said that, as everybody does. You said that a lot better than I could have said it. So I just don't guess I need to even add anything to that. This one says, hello, Ken. Tell me the name of that UFO guy again. The UFO guy is Representative Tim Burchett. Burchett. Representative Tim Burchett of Tennessee is the UFO guy, if you want to look him up. And that is all the time we have for Star Talk tonight. We're on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. Hope you'll join us next time. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Eccles.